Peace. It's a meat potato sorcery production starring myself, the Water Alchemist, and today's topic for the occult family is the Fall of Atlantis. Now, Atlantis has been reduced to folklore and mythology, but we must always remember that even with myth, there's always an element of truth. And not only that, I hear pundits and scholars talking about, well, we haven't really found no evidence of Atlantis. Well, at that time, you didn't. But because of technology, many people are finding things that can be related to Atlantis as well as Lemuria. And think of it like this, and let me use this analogy. Let's say you're over the age of 40. Now, depending on what city you're in, your junior high or middle school no longer exists. But yet you know it was real, and the people that you went to school with know it was real. So I want to get into what one of the things was that led to the fall of Atlantis. And it says this on page 38, Legends of Atlantis and Lemuria. Sorcery versus the good law. After about 100,000 years of this golden age, the degeneracy and decay of the race set in. Many of the tributary kings and large numbers of the priests and people ceased to use their faculties and powers in accordance with the laws made by their divine rulers, whose precepts and advice were now disregarded. Their connection with the occult hierarchy was broken. Personal aggrandizement, the attainment of wealth and authority, the humiliation and ruin of their enemies became more and more of the objects towards which their occult powers were directed, and thus turned from their lawful use and practice for all sorts of selfish and malevolent purposes. They inevitably led to what we must call by the name of sorcery. So, in other words, that once they strayed away from the laws of the universe, a lot of people knew sorcery and they used it to the detriment of their society. So that's what led to pretty much the fall of Atlantis. And the people from Atlantis, those that survived went to Samaria as well as Egypt, or what we also know as Tamari and Kemet. And I also want to add something else onto that, because race was a social construct, and we know that race or culture is used right now. But it says this on page 12, that the Atlanteans were comprised of this similarity of etymological types. Atlantis, as we shall see, is said to have been inhabited by red, yellow, white, and black races. Now, for scholastic purposes, this is a good book, and it was written in the 1920s. This is the book for the family. Legends of Atlantis and Lost Lemuria by W. Scott Elliott. And you can order that off of Amazon.com as well as Alibris. So the race that you have now, the human race, was not the race that was around during Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu. So the whole thing is, you were powerful, but you had your fall. And what's happening now is you have certain beings that want to keep you right where you at, where you may have been an 8 or a 9. They want to consolidate all the power for themselves and keep you at a 1 or 2. So with that, that is your meat and potato source for the day. I am the Water Alchemist. Be water, my friends. Peace.